God's morning and grand rising, everyone. This is Narada Rishi Raja with expeditiousfool.com, putting mindfulness in motion. And first and foremost, I want to say happy birthday, Krishna. It's Krishna's birthday today. It's the day that Krishna took his incarnation. Vishnu took his incarnation as Krishna. And it's a special day for me because I have an intimate relationship with it, but it's a special day for me because Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita is probably one of the greatest teachers for deliverance into the spiritual understanding. And I say that because material understanding and spiritual understanding are completely different. And most people that feel they have spiritual understanding right now, truthfully, they just have a different version of material that they're giving a spiritual name to. Whereas Krishna and Krishna's teachings, not just the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, all throughout any story that tells the glories of Godhead, it shines brightly. But one of the big things about Krishna was a lover. If you want to get to know Krishna, that aspect, then you got to explore love. You got to explore what that means, right? And for everybody that's struggling in life right there, which is most, some won't admit it, but it's 99 point something percent of the population, right? And everybody that's struggling out there, explore love. If you're wondering why things are this, why things are that, think about where you put your attention in it, right? If you have a relationship, right, and it's crumbling, relationship with a person, and you just don't feel like you're in love with them anymore, right? You have choice. That's the way most people look at it. Look at the divorce rates, right? So you can go away from that person. And that's true, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that's fine. Okay. You can. Or you can decide to work through it, decide to be proactive about it, decide to try and do things, right? Now, if vibrationally it's just not a match, then it doesn't matter what you're going to try, right? Here's the cool thing about Krishna. Literally what gives you life. Therefore, there is no question about whether or not it's a vibrational match. That only question is whether or not you want to do the work to restore yourself back to that level where you would be a complete vibrational match with Krishna, with the merger back to Godhead. That is yoga. Yoga means union with God's source consciousness. That's what it means. It means to attach to God's source consciousness, to yoke, right? That is devotional consciousness. That's what that is. That is bhakti. When you are attached to your devotional consciousness, or when your consciousness is attached to your devotion like that, then all of your decisions come through there. You're attached to that God source, Krishna. Krishna gave an excellent expose, which I get more and more from each and every day. When I read the Bhagavad Gita, each time I read it, it gives you something different. And it expounds upon what's already taken. And all of the questions we have on the spiritual journey, guess what? Arjuna has in the Bhagavad Gita. Now, it's spiritual poetry, so it does take a level of work, right? You have to have dedication in order to truly understand that which you love, right? That which loves you, that which will always be there. See, we can decide not to work on a relationship with an individual. But if we decide not to work on the relationship and building that with Krishna, with that Godhead, and again, you don't have to call it Krishna, but this is his day. This was his representation. But with that, when we really go deeply to that, our problems are taken care of. Yeah, there'll still be problems in life, but you will respond completely different. Your environment no longer controls how you feel. You control how you feel. You can't do it on your own, and you have to work to develop that connection. But I can't tell you how deeply, deeply wonderful it is when you get there. And that's why I talk about my process the way that I do, not out of ego, not out of, oh, look at me, not out of, oh, come get my services. I'm not attached to that. But I talk about my process to let everybody know it is possible to have that type of relationship with God's source. You do have to work on it, and it does have to be daily. And a lot of who you thought you were at the beginning when you wanted to merge with this God source is not who you're going to be when you get there. Similar to love relationship, a divine union. If you truly love a person and you want to be with them forever, you got to get okay with them changing into whoever they're going to be as well, not just who they were, right? So it's something to think about when you're thinking about, well, I don't have this connection and I really want this spiritual connection. It requires work. If you don't know how to do that, there are people like me to teach it. There's books, there's YouTube. You can do all of these things. It just depends on what level. Or you can close your eyes, have the dedication, and turn inward. For me, the thing that changed me around was 6 months in isolation in rural Alabama, where I worked on nothing but breathwork, meditation, and yoga. That's what changed it around for me. That's what broke my connections with a lot of the material. That's what broke a lot of my attachments to things. That's when I started doing the work. And I haven't stopped since, folks. Been going at it for a few years strong. Been working on the process my whole life. But it wasn't until I started to dedicate consistently and deeply the effort in order to bridge that connection. All right, everybody. I hope that this message helps. Happy birthday again, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namaskaram, everyone.